Welcome to the Soulful Insights podcast, where we dive deep into the transformative power of intuitive spiritual coaching and personal growth. In today's episode, we are going to explore the profound superpower of self-love, which is a foundational force that not only nurtures our own well-being, but also enriches the lives of those around us. The first segment of our journey into the heart of self-love is where we begin by unfolding what self-love truly means and why it is so crucial for our overall well-being and happiness. I believe that embracing self-love is not just a practice, but a way of living that can dramatically transform your life. Self-love is the practice of understanding, accepting, and appreciating yourself, regardless of your current circumstances, relationships, or any external validation. And that can be really hard for a lot of people. It involves being able to acknowledge your worth, knowing your value, caring for your needs, being mindful of your thoughts, and carefully choosing those you accept into your mind. So you're carefully choosing what thoughts you accept and those that you choose not to believe. You're just kind of filtering what your brain is feeding you. You don't have to accept everything that your brain is feeding you, and we can go into that in another podcast. It's also nurturing your growth and your happiness. Self-love means setting aside time for yourself, being able to honor your needs and your desires, forgiving yourself for past mistakes without judgment. That one's a big one. Self-love is often misunderstood as being self-absorbed or ignoring the needs of others. That is absolutely not true. True self-love is far from those misconceptions. It is about being kind to yourself and allowing yourself the space to be human, to be flawed and fabulous in equal measure. It's about recognizing that you deserve happiness and that it is essential to prioritize your health and happiness as much as you do for others. So it isn't about ignoring others, but it's about being able to prioritize your health and happiness as well. You cannot give from an empty cup. Self-love is the foundation upon which many other aspects of our lives are built. It affects how we see the world, the thoughts we choose to believe, how we show up in the world, how we interact with people, how we face challenges. When we love ourselves, we're more confident. We can offer others the same forgiveness that we offer to ourselves. And we are better equipped to handle the pressures of life. You can actually be a better person for the people in your life when you practice self-love. Self-love dramatically improves mental and physical health. So there are numerous studies that show that self-love and self-compassion are strongly associated with lower levels of anxiety and depression. And those are two things that a lot of my clients struggle with profoundly. Those are things that I myself struggled with. I struggled with high levels of anxiety from the time I was a small child. And learning techniques and learning ways to transform and move beyond the anxiety and depression is part of the work that I do with women, and I absolutely love doing that because it is so transformative to learn how to move beyond those things. Practicing self-love, as we're talking about today, is one of those ways. It's not the only one, but it's extremely important. Practicing self-love can lead to better stress management and overall physical health. And it often involves activities that promote that physical well-being. Self-love enhances relationships. And I know you think, oh, well, you're just loving yourself. No, that's not actually the case. By loving yourself, you set the standard for how you expect to be treated by other people. It also equips you to offer genuine love and support to other people, creating healthier and more fulfilling relationships. So when you love yourself, you're not willing to take crap from other people. But also, when you feel that love and acceptance for yourself, you're a lot more able to offer that to others. You're able to offer true love to another person. You cannot offer true love and acceptance to another person if you feel empty inside. You cannot offer love and acceptance to another person if you're harboring negative thought patterns about yourself. Your inner world will be reflected in the way you show up in your relationships. So I often see individuals who lack self-love and compassion expect their significant other to provide the validation they need. Their significant other needs to make them feel loved, make them feel happy. And these are unrealistic expectations that are going to lead to disappointment in relationships and even resentment. When your partner can't meet these needs that in reality only you can give to yourself. And I pause there for a reason. That validation, feeling loved, and feeling happy are things that only you can give to yourself. And we're going to get into how and why. Self-love allows you to find contentment within yourself rather than seeking it externally. You can't control how other people act. You can't control what they do. You can't control what they say. You can't control what they think about you. And so the only love that you can control is the love you have for yourself. The only contentment you're going to be able to find is the contentment that you provide for yourself. This internal source of happiness is more stable and enduring. It's not subject to the fluctuations of your life circumstances or of other people. If your happiness is dependent on external people and external circumstances, such as how other people treat you, how other people perceive you, how successful the external world sees you, your happiness is going to go up and down and fluctuating constantly, and you're never going to find that stable peace and joy that you're seeking. Self-love is not about complacency. It's about growth. It encourages you to develop in ways that express your true self, pursue your genuine interests, and achieve your personal goals. In difficult times, I love to repeat in my mind, I've got your back. I've got your back. I've got you. Self-love allows me to move out of my comfort zone and live my dreams because I know that no matter what, I am my own biggest cheerleader. I've got my back even if nobody else does. And nobody can take that away from me. I'm not going to walk out the door on myself. I'm here. I got you. I got me. And that's where I want you to be able to get in your own life. To truly embrace self-love, one must engage in both reflective and active practices. So the reflective practices might include meditation, where you confront your inner critic, where you comfort your inner child, through journaling, where you're documenting things you appreciate about yourself, things that you like about yourself. And active practices may involve things like setting boundaries to protect your energy, pursuing hobbies that light you up, or simply choosing to speak kindly to yourself and about yourself. In essence, self-love is recognizing that you are your own biggest cheerleader. I cannot say that enough. You are your own lifelong relationship, and honoring that commitment with the same intensity that you might dedicate to a loved one. It's about saying yes to your own needs and walking through life with an inner ally by yourself or by your side. And I love that. You are the ally that's never going anywhere. And I always advocate in my coaching at Aura Soul Institute that I always advocate for a lifestyle that cherishes and celebrates this profound relationship with yourself. And as we continue to explore the dimensions of self-love in upcoming segments, remember that each step towards loving yourself is a step towards a joy-filled, peaceful, and fulfilled life. Reflect on your current relationship with yourself. I just want you to think about this for a minute. What steps can you take today to nurture this relationship with yourself? You can share your thoughts and intentions with our community on our Facebook page, and let's grow together in love and light and share with others how you are learning to foster this relationship. Discussing how self-love impacts your mental, emotional, and physical health, I also want to delve a bit into the harmonious blend of science and spirituality. The spiritual, I like a little bit of the sciencey stuff, but I definitely am all in the spirituality as well. So, discovering how self-love enriches our entire being, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. And those are the pillars that I talk about all the time. Scientifically, I usually also add sexually. I have 5 pillars that I talk about, but today we're just going to be talking about these 4. Scientifically, when we engage in self-love, our bodies respond with a cascade of positive biochemical reactions. Neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, often referred to as your feel-good hormones, are released when you engage in self-love, which enhances your mood and fosters that sense of contentment. So even from a scientific perspective, self-love is very powerful. This biochemical shift not only uplifts you emotionally, but also stabilizes your mental health, reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety. It's a nurturing cycle where loving yourself actively changes your brain chemistry, leading to greater emotional resilience and a more balanced mental state. And on a spiritual level, self-love is a profound practice that aligns you with your higher self, facilitating a deeper connection to the divine. By honoring and accepting yourself, you open up to more profound spiritual experiences and insights. This alignment allows you to live more fully in the present moment, embracing a state of mindfulness that enriches your spirit. The practice of self-love clears the spiritual clutter, enabling you to hear your inner voice more clearly and connect with your true essence. It's a journey of returning to your spiritual roots through the act of self-compassion, which radiates outward, enhancing your connection with the universe, enhancing your connection with the collective consciousness and all of those around you. Physically, the benefits of self-love are equally transformative. When we treat ourselves with love and respect, we are more likely to engage in healthy behaviors that support physical well-being. So this might manifest as choosing more nutritious foods, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, which are all acts of self-care that stem from that love that you have for yourself and that relationship that you have with yourself. Moreover, self-love has been shown to decrease cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone in your body. This decrease of cortisol can reduce inflammation. It can make it easier to lose weight. It actually helps you maintain a healthy hormonal balance, especially for women. It helps you shift to healthy levels of progesterone. It can also affect women's testosterone levels. Some women have elevated testosterone, and it reduces water retention. So there's a lot of benefits to self-care, self-love, and reducing those cortisol levels. Our physical vessel, our body, thrives when treated with care and kindness, reinforcing how the act of loving yourself is intrinsically linked with your physical health and vitality. Embracing self-love is embracing a life where emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical health are beautifully interwoven for holistic harmony and wellness. I understand the journey to embracing self-love is often paved with a lot of challenges. Common obstacles such as guilt, self-criticism, societal expectations can hinder your ability to fully appreciate and accept yourself. Guilt particularly can be a heavy burden, and it often arises from deeply ingrained beliefs that prioritizing your own needs is selfish. And this is a message that people get from religious organizations. Certain cultural beliefs perpetuate this. But this notion could not be further from the truth. In the spirit of transformative intuitive healing, we recognize that self-love is a necessary act of kindness that replenishes your spirit and enables you to better serve others. You cannot serve from an empty cup. When you are exhausted, you are just going through the motions, when you are feeling numb inside, how do you pull love out of an empty heart? You can't serve others and be there for others when you're empty. So by reframing self-care as an essential element rather than a luxury, we can begin to alleviate the guilt associated with prioritizing your well-being. Self-criticism is another formidable barrier to self-love, with many of us holding ourselves to impossibly high standards. This internal voice of judgment can be relentless, often louder than the voice of compassion. I encourage you to engage in practices such as mindfulness and meditation to gently quiet this critical voice and replace it with one of understanding and kindness, recognizing that we are all works in progress, and allow yourself grace. This is a profound step towards silencing that inner critic. I call it the gremlin. It's the inner gremlin. It's about celebrating your efforts, not just your outcomes, and recognizing that each step, no matter how small, is progress. Societal expectations can also distort your perception of self-worth with pervasive messages about success and appearance, especially for women. I see far too much plastic surgery and women thinking they're fat. And I see a lot of women online in social media calling other women, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too this. This needs to stop. We should not be making comments on other people's bodies. And you know what? That person's body is not on this planet to visually please you. That is not why they are here, and that is not why you are here. You are not here to visually please someone else. And you know what? Nobody's going to visually please everybody anyway, because everybody's got their own ideas and things and whatever, and it's a never-ending, it's just a never-ending fight. And we have these messages about success and appearance and lifestyle influencing how you value yourself. To combat this, I advocate for a strong sense of inner values that are defined by your own truths and not by societal standards. Creating and adhering to these personal benchmarks is a way to honor your unique path and resist the pressure to conform. By cultivating a deep spiritual connection and trusting your journey, you can stand firm in your worth and embrace self-love, free from the constraints imposed by external expectations. And in doing so, you not only foster your own growth, but also inspire those around you to embark on their own journey of self-love and acceptance as well. I also believe in nurturing the soul with gentle yet powerful practices that infuse each day with self-love and intentional living. And you'll hear me talk about intentional living all the time. It's something that I'm really passionate about. And here we explore some specific daily actions that you can integrate into your routine to cultivate a deep, loving relationship with yourself. These practices are designed not just to soothe you in the moment, but to build a foundation of lasting self-appreciation and care. So number one is affirmations. I know, you've heard about them. I have too. I used to think it was lame, and I would do them a little bit and kind of dabble in it, but they are powerful. Affirmations are very powerful tools for reshaping your thoughts and beginning to foster a positive self-image. So by repeating affirmations daily, you reaffirm your self-worth and reshape that internal dialogue to be more loving and supportive. And you tell the gremlin to just go away. Tell him to shut up. Start your day by choosing an affirmation that resonates with your heart and spirit. It could be as simple as, I am worthy of love and joy. Or, I choose to treat myself with kindness today. I feel empowered and successful. I love my life. Make sure that when you create your affirmations that you use different words. A lot of people will always just use I am. So I am happy, I am successful, I am grateful. And that's fine, but I want you to mix it up a little bit. And so I'm going to give you, if you want to grab a paper and pen and write this down, I'm going to give you several different options. And when you're doing affirmations, let's say you're going to do 5 or 6 different affirmations each week. I want you to include each one of these phrases in your affirmations. And they are, I am. So saying, I am successful or I am worthy. The next one is I feel. So I feel joy. I feel empowered. Okay. You can even say I feel successful. That's fine. You don't always have to say I am successful. You can also say I feel successful. I love. So notice how earlier I said I love my life. I love my family. That's another way of, these are all ways of offering statements or gratitude. The next one is I choose. Okay? I choose to treat myself with kindness. I choose to show up for myself every day. Okay? I choose. Next one. And the last one is I know. And I want you to use these because they all integrate different aspects, different emotions, different aspects of your being. So I know that I am intelligent. I know I am good. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm beautiful. Okay? I want you to use I am, I feel, I love, I choose, I know. And those are not the only ones, but those are the ones that I want you to use. And I want you to speak these words out loud. Write them down, meditate on them, speak them out loud. I want you to take these affirmations and I want you to mean it. I want you to do this and I want you to mean it. And I want you to allow them to sink into your consciousness and guide your actions throughout the day. This practice helps realign your thoughts and combat that negative gremlin that's in your mind that often clouds your thoughts and drags you down. And this is where we're going to start pulling you out. This is not the only thing, but this is what we're beginning with, okay? Then we move into number 2, which is mindful breathing. And this is something that you can do when you're at work and you're stressed, or, you know, you had a client that was yelling at you, or your boss or something was going on and you're really stressed out. This is something that can be done anywhere. You can do it in the middle of a crowd of people and it just helps recenter you. Mindful breathing is a soothing practice. It will bring you back to the present and reconnect you with your body. And it's a fundamental aspect of self-love. And I know it seems like, how is that self-love? It definitely is. It involves focusing your breath, noticing the sensations of air entering and leaving your body, and the rhythms that naturally emerge. So you can practice mindful breathing anytime. Whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, disconnected, anxiety, there are times when I'm feeling anxious, which anxiety is something that I definitely really struggle with. I do a lot better now, but it comes up sometimes in a big wave. And I can be in the middle of a crowd and just take a deep cleansing breath and let it out. Just breathe it out. And that will, I want you to visualize that anxiety or that negativity washing over you and then coming out through the breath. You can do it once, you can do it a few times. It often takes a few times, but even one cleansing breath throughout the day when you're feeling that way can release emotion and stress. And there's been times where that one breath does wonders for me, and I do it all the time. It's almost, I'm so used to it that it's something, if I'm feeling anxiety or stress or something like that, I just naturally do it now. And this practice can significantly reduce stress and anxiety and enhance your inner peace, reminding you of the simple act of being and being in the present moment and the beauty of your existence in the moment. It just recenters you. And then we move on to number 3, which is setting intentions. Setting intentions for the day is a powerful way to cultivate self-love because it allows you to live intentionally. This is the way that you are living authentically. You're living the way that you want to instead of falling back in old habits. This is moving you and propelling you forward to live your best life. That's self-love. So each morning or at the beginning of your week, I want you to take a moment to reflect on what you want to bring into your life or how you want to feel that day or that week. These intentions might be related to personal growth or relationships, improving thought patterns or beliefs about yourself or professional life, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's whatever feels authentic and what it is that you want to work on. Your examples might be, today I intend to recognize my accomplishments. Maybe you're one that's hard on yourself. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Maybe that's all you need to do for that day. Or you could say, my intention is to act with compassion towards myself and others. Maybe you explode at people. Maybe you yell. Maybe you're hard on yourself. Maybe you're hard on other people. Maybe that's what you need to work on that day. Whatever it is, you can set financial goals for the week. I'm going to clean the house. I'm going to cook dinner so many times a week. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But by setting these intentions, you give yourself direction and purpose. You know where you're going, which fuels your self-esteem and fosters a loving attitude towards your daily actions, which I love. Okay, meditation. Oh, I love meditation. This is a huge practice for me. It has been transformative to my life. I dabbled in it for 20 years, off and on, and now I don't know where I would be without it. It is a cornerstone practice for fostering self-love and even transforming your life. It provides you a space to quiet your mind, to connect with your higher self and your spirit team, if that's something that you do. By setting aside time each day to meditate, you create an opportunity to explore your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Whether it's a guided meditation focused on self-compassion or a few minutes of even silence, just connecting with your inner self, connecting and just breathing in the present moment. It could be meditation of manifesting. There's all different ways of meditating. I have even done visualization meditation. I offer meditation healing journeys for a lot of my clients. There's a lot of different ways that we can do this. I've used visualization meditation for myself to shave time off of my 5K and won a medal. So it can be very powerful, and we'll talk about that later. But I want you to embrace this time to let go of external pressures, let go of negative thoughts, let go of all of that, and tune in inward to your deeper knowing, to your higher self. It is a very powerful practice, and we can talk more about meditation. The other one that I love, I actually just finished my meditative walk. I really did before doing this podcast. So I want you to know I do these things myself. And this is how I have transformed my own life. And I love helping women do this. It's walking in nature, or the meditative walk. And this is something that I have done for years. You immerse yourself in nature. It is a profoundly healing and rejuvenating practice that reinforces that connection and that self-love by aligning you with the natural world. You could take a walk in a nearby park, a forest, on the beach, wherever it is that you live, and allow the beauty and serenity of that environment to fill you with a sense of peace and belonging. The act of walking not only boosts physical health, but provides mental clarity, emotional relief, reminds you of your own worth, your connection to creation, and your own worth and beauty. So this is something that I teach. I have a course on learning how to do really powerful meditative walking and why. And if you can check that out on the website if you'd like. And actually, I don't even know if enrollment is open yet, but you can get on our email list and I will announce when that's open. And the next one is Epsom salt baths. This is another ritual that I do almost every night. Not always, because sometimes it depends on the weather and how I'm feeling. Sometimes we have a lot of sage on our property that just grows all over our property naturally. It's constantly growing, like never-ending supply of it. And so I will actually burn sage in a fire pit that we have on our property. We own 40 acres. And we will sit outside next to that sage, and there's something very spiritually cleansing and renewing about burning the sage. So some nights I'll do that, but the Epsom salt bath is also a very soothing ritual that can help cleanse not just your body, but your energetic field. And I know this is a very new idea to some of you, and that's okay. Just lean into it. Epsom salts are rich in magnesium, which can reduce or relax your muscles, reduce inflammation, and help you eliminate toxins from the body. So it has physical benefits. But as you are in that Epsom salt bath, dedicating time and caring for your physical well-being, while also creating a tranquil retreat to nourish your soul. The water and salt are powerful cleansers of the energetic field or the aura. And if you feel that you take on a lot of negative energy throughout the day, this is a really powerful practice. If you're around a lot of negativity or a lot of stress or that kind of thing at work, or you have negative people in your life, this is really powerful. I usually take either Himalayan or Epsom salt. It's up to you. Some people prefer one or the other. Sometimes I add essential oils or herbs. Rose petals are beautiful to add. We have massive amounts of roses around here, so that's also something I have access to, but you could use lavender or anything else. I do this almost every evening, and I put on meditation music. I have a fairy light lamp in there that I will turn on. I use organic bubble bath, which also has kind of an Epsom salt quality within it. It's very natural, and it grounds me. We also have a well, so this is very grounding water that I'm bathing in, but it provides a powerful cleansing of negative energy, and I can feel it immediately. There are nights where I'm like, I've got to do this. It's such a beautiful practice, and I'm so relaxed when I get in bed. But light some candles, add a few drops of lavender oil in the tub, turn on your favorite meditation music, and let that gentle warmth of the water remind you of the warmth of your own self-love, and let it cleanse those negative energies. Okay, number 7, healing stones and crystals. And I know this is probably new to some of you, and that's okay. In my work, I am all about leaning into things and being open. And if it doesn't resonate with you, totally fine. But this is something that has profoundly changed my life, is incorporating these healing stones into my life. And it can enhance your self-love practice by harnessing their unique energies. Each stone has specific properties that can support different aspects of your emotional health and healing process. So for instance, rose quartz promotes love and healing and joy. It's a more of an uplifting, loving energy. And amethyst brings clarity. It's a very calming stone, very calming, but it also brings clarity and kind of opens you up to the spirit realm a little bit for a little bit more internal guidance. Black tourmaline, it's one that I often wear around my wrist, and it offers spiritual protection and grounding. And angelite, that is one that I use almost every day. It is a tranquil stone. It brings tranquility. It brings peace. It connects you with your higher self. I love angelite. So you can carry a chosen stone with you throughout the day, place them around your living spaces, hold them during meditation. A lot of people will wear them on necklaces or bracelets to amplify the healing vibrations. And by weaving these practices, meditation, nature walks, Epsom salt baths, and healing stones into your daily routine, you are actively cultivating a lifestyle that prioritizes and celebrates self-love. And at RSL Institute, I always encourage you to explore the practices that resonate with you and discover how they can transform not just the moments of your day, but the very essence of your life journey. Let each act of self-care be a loving affirmation of your worth and a step forward to a more fulfilled and joyous existence. Incorporating these practices into your daily routine invites a constant stream of self-love that slowly transforms your relationship with yourself. And over time, these small actions build up, leading to significant changes in how you perceive and treat yourself. And I encourage you to embrace these practices not as an occasional remedy, but as a regular practice to honor your divine essence. By nurturing your spirit with daily affirmations, mindful breathing, and intentional living, you pave the way for a life where self-love is not just an occasional guest, but a permanent resident in the home of your soul. Let each day be a step towards deeper self-acceptance and joy, lighting up your path with the warm glow of self-love. Cherish the power of creative expression. It's a vital form of self-love and personal exploration. So engaging in creative activities like journaling, art, dancing, music, this allows you to express your innermost thoughts and emotions in a very tangible way, facilitating a deeper understanding and acceptance of yourself. I mean, if you like to make jewelry or crochet or knit or paint, whatever it is, these practices serve not only as outlets for emotional release, but also as tools for self-discovery and reflection. Whether it's through the rhythmic dance of a paintbrush, the soothing flow of words on a page as you write, the harmonious melodies of an instrument, each creative act is a step toward embracing your true self and enhancing your personal journey of healing and growth. So journaling, for instance, is a profound practice in self-love that encourages mindfulness and introspection. So it's a safe, private space to confront your thoughts and your feelings without judgment. By regularly documenting your experiences, gratitude, emotions, you cultivate this greater awareness of where you are mentally and emotionally, which can lead to transformative insights and breakthroughs. Similarly, the process of creating art offers a non-verbal mode of expression that can unlock new ways of understanding and relating to your experiences. The colors, shapes, textures you choose can reveal hidden aspects of your psyche, promoting healing, emotional expression, self-acceptance, and processing of things that need to be released. And dancing is so good. This is one we learn in somatics and dealing with trauma. This can be a form of self-expression, but even emotional expression. So it's often used, like I said, in somatic practices for those suffering from PTSD or trauma. You don't have to have a background in dance. You don't even have to be good at it. It's really about letting down those barriers and that judgment of yourself, which is so powerful in self-acceptance. Just allow your body to move in any way that feels natural to you. Go in a room, lock the door, turn the music on, and let your body move. You may find it swaying or rocking, whatever movement feels natural and like your body just needs to express. Flowing with that music in an authentic expression. This can be very soothing, very healing, and very emotionally releasing. And this works a lot better for those that seem to be activated from stress or triggers or trauma. They have a harder time with meditation and yoga because a lot of the emotions and a lot of the trauma starts to come out when things slow down. But this is absolutely a way that you can release emotions and start to find that self-love. And I love dancing. I think it's fantastic. And like I said, you don't have to be good at it. It's not about being good. It's just about letting yourself be. That's what self-acceptance is. Just let yourself be. It's no judgment. And music offers a powerful form of self-expression. Music transcends words and reaches deep into the soul. Playing, singing, or even listening can elevate your spirit and provide comfort and connect you with the universal language of emotion. These creative practices are acts of self-care that nourish your spirit and foster a loving relationship with yourself. And by incorporating these artistic expressions into your daily life, you not only enhance your capacity for self-love, but also create a richer, more colorful life experience. So embrace these creative outlets and discover the joy and fulfillment that comes from expressing your unique self through art, writing, dancing, music, knitting, crocheting, making jewelry, whatever it is, wherever your creativity lies. And even try new things for sure. The next one I want to talk about is setting boundaries as an act of self-love. And I cannot emphasize enough the importance of setting healthy boundaries as a profound act of self-love. And it is an essential component of mental and emotional health. Boundaries help us define what is acceptable and what is not in our interactions with other people. And that ensures that your personal space, your values, and your needs are respected and upheld. And by clearly communicating your limits, you teach other people how to treat you. And I know there are going to be some people that are not going to respect that, and that's fine. And then you can decide what works best for you in those cases. I'm not going to tell you how to handle that, and I don't do that with my coaching either, because that's an individual thing. But the act of establishing boundaries involves a deep understanding and acceptance of your own needs. And it requires self-awareness to recognize when something doesn't feel right, and then having the courage to voice that and say, this isn't right, and I'm not going to allow you to do this. So it may mean that you just say no to something that might overwhelm you, or requesting some personal space or some time alone, expressing how you prefer to be treated or how someone is talking to you and saying, I'm sorry, but if you continue to speak to me that way, I'm going to leave because I'm not going to allow you to do this, right? And you can say that however is authentic to you. But when you prioritize your own needs through healthy boundaries, you affirm your own value to yourself and to the people around you. And that reinforces the belief that you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect, which you do. I am telling you, you do. Okay? I want you to understand, this is super important. Setting boundaries is not a way to control other people's behavior. You cannot, nor should you try to control someone else's actions or behaviors. That's not what it's about. The point of a boundary is to express what you will do to protect your energy if a boundary is crossed. So they can respect what you say or not. That's up to them. We don't control them, but you control you. And this is how you take your power back from toxic people or from people that just do not respect you. And I'm going to give you an example. If you have a person in your life that's constantly ridiculing, making fun of you, humiliating you at family gatherings, this is just one example. Appropriate boundary setting would be that you sit down with this person and say, hey, you know what? I really don't appreciate you ridiculing and humiliating me. And then you could even give an example. Let's say you're at the family gathering and they start ridiculing you or humiliating you. Say, hey, I don't like it. You know what? I don't appreciate it when you say X, Y, Z, like you just did. I don't appreciate you speaking to me that way. And if you continue to do this, I will leave. And if you cannot respect me and the way that I feel about this, then I may no longer be able to attend parties where you are present. So you can't control how they're going to behave at the next family gathering. That's not the point of this. So let's say you say, look, I'm not going to allow you to talk to me this way anymore. When you say X, Y, Z, it's you are disrespecting me. And so I'm going to leave. And I will come to the next family party. But if this happens again, then I may no longer be attending. But you are giving them the opportunity to be responsible for their actions, to be willing to change, to respect how you feel. If they choose not to respect that, you remove yourself from the situation like you said you would. That's just an example. How you handle that is completely up to you. It doesn't mean you cut someone out of your life. It doesn't mean, that it has to be, there has to be a way that you manage that feels good to you. So I'm not telling you how to handle that. That was just one example. And boundaries can change over time as you grow and you change. You may keep someone in your life for a while and then say, you know what, this isn't working and I need to be done. And that's okay too. But by embracing this practice, you're empowering yourself to live authentically, to invite peace and harmony in your life. And you're also saying, there are things that I will not accept from you in my life, okay? And I want you to reflect on your current relationships and responsibilities and take a moment to reflect on the various aspects of your life. Relationships with family, friends, work, significant other, social commitments. Taking time to reflect and put on some soothing music, somewhere a peaceful corner in your room. Where are you feeling overwhelmed or drained? Are there situations where you feel your needs aren't being respected? Do you find yourself saying yes when you really want to say no? And I want you to write down your thoughts and feelings. And this is going to help you identify specific scenarios and relationships where boundary setting might be needed. And then number 2, I want you to define your boundaries. So once you've identified where you feel like you need boundaries, whether that's at work, with a significant other, extended family members, in-laws, wherever that may be, coworkers, I don't know. The next step is to define what those boundaries are going to be. And this is a personal process and varies greatly. There's no right or wrong way. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by work, a boundary might be not checking emails after a certain hour. If you're seeking more respect in a personal relationship, a boundary could be asking family members not to comment on certain topics, and then communicating what your response will be if these boundaries are crossed. So for each area that you've identified in step 1, write down a clear and specific boundary that addresses your concern. And then remember, the boundaries are not just about saying no, they're about creating a healthy space for you. And then you kind of need to decide, if these people can't respect what I'm asking, what am I going to do? How am I going to protect myself? How am I going to take my power back in this situation? And then step 3, communicating those boundaries. And this can be hard, but this is important because you have to express those boundaries and those needs and express them respectfully to those that are involved. And choose a good time to talk to the person. Use I statements to express your feelings and needs. Don't blame them. So saying like, I feel overwhelmed when I'm working late and I need to ensure that I have enough time to unwind in the evenings. Clearly state what the boundary is, why it's important to you, and how by respecting it, it will improve your relationship and that type of thing. Listen to their perspective, be open to discussion. It's not just about your needs, it's also about finding a balance between all parties involved. This can be an easy discussion if the other person is open and willing to work with you to respect your desires and needs, but that's not always the case, as you're probably aware. This can also be very difficult if you're dealing with a toxic individual who gaslights, who always plays the victim, someone who can't take responsibility for their actions or behavior. And if you're dealing with someone of this nature, in all likelihood, you're not going to get anywhere with setting boundaries. So if that's the case, you're going to have to decide how you want to approach this relationship from here on out. Do you want to keep the relationship? If not, how are you going to approach ending the relationship? And number 2, if you're going to keep the relationship, what steps are you going to take to protect your well-being and happiness when you're around this person? And be very clear. Write it down. Be very clear what you're going to do. Do you feel like maybe limiting conversations or limiting what you talk about with that person might be a good course of action? And if so, write down, what topics are you going to avoid talking? What causes this person to go off in ways that cause harm? And what are you going to do to limit the interaction specifically? And then what thought work or emotional healing do you think you might need in this relationship? And so there's a lot of aspects to pay attention to that. And then number 4, you've got to maintain those boundaries. And that's like the biggest part of this, because there's no point to a boundary if you're like, yeah, whatever. It's an ongoing process, but it requires consistency and reinforcement, especially in the beginning. So if your boundaries are not respected when you tell someone, look, I don't appreciate you talking to me that way, so if this happens again, I'm going to leave or whatever. That's just, I'm just throwing something out there. Firmly and calmly remind the person of the boundary that you talked about. You can take a break from the relationship for a time, limit contact going forward for a while or forever, however you want to do that, end the relationship. Whatever response you choose, stick to it. So take action, stepping back from responsibilities that are infringing on your boundaries, limiting contact with someone that consistently disrespects your limits. So continuing to work at that. And I'm always here to support my clients every step of the way in embracing their superpower and loving and honoring themselves. And I hope through these podcasts and emails, through the newsletter and everything that I also can be here to support you in every step as you're embracing this power of loving yourself. And then I'm going to offer here self-love in action. And this is your weekly challenge. Self-love is an active, vibrant practice that should be woven into the very fabric of your daily life. And this week, I want to invite you to join me in a special challenge that focuses on putting self-love into action. Each act of self-love is a step towards nurturing your spirit and enhancing your well-being, creating ripples of positivity that extend far beyond the immediate moment. So by committing to just one intentional act of self-love this week, you open the door to a deeper connection with yourself and a richer, more fulfilling life. So starting this week, start the challenge by choosing an activity that resonates with your needs and brings you a sense of peace and rejuvenation. Maybe the soothing Epsom salt or herbal bath. Setting aside time for relaxation, well-being. Maybe go out for a walk in nature. Maybe that's what will work for you. Maybe yoga helps you. Maybe going out for a run, that's fine as well. If that helps you kind of burn off that stress, then that works. Whatever it is that you need. Meditation. If you just need to sit in meditation for a while, I encourage you to embrace this and choose this intentional act of self-love. I want you to make this week one of intentional self-love and watch as your inner light shines brighter than ever before. And then I want you to continue in engaging in these practices and learn how to do this on a regular basis. So I want you to share your self-love practices and stories on my social media page, on the website, wherever. Inspire others in the community. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and tune in next week for another enriching episode. And also, you can go on our RSS feed and click on the link to donate, which really helps keep this podcast going and helps support me. So I would really appreciate that as well. Thank you for joining me on this journey to embrace the superpower of self-love. Remember, loving yourself fiercely and fully is the first step towards a life filled with joy, peace, and fulfillment. What will your self-love look like today? Share your journey with us and let's continue to inspire each other. Thank you for being here with me today.